Hello, J Vera and Walnut here talking about perfumes that smell like dolls. But first, welcome to Easygoing Scents.
Hooray! Yay!
I scoured the internet for perfumes that were expressly marketed to smell like dolls, and I found 6 fragrances. I did not include perfumes that were not intended to smell like dolls, but that people say that they think smell like dolls. I'll review the 6 doll scents in the order that I liked them, from least to most. Let's go. Number 6. Xyrena Plastic 2017 Perfumer Killian Wells. I purchased this decant sample from Decant Planet. Upon first sniff, I worried they had sent me perfume that had gone bad. I'm going to spray it right now, but I'm actually a little afraid. I know I probably sound hyperbolic, but I think this might be the worst perfume I've ever smelled. The first time I smelled it, I thought it just smelled like noxious chemicals, and I almost contacted Decant Planet to return it. But first, I started doing some research online to see what other people thought it smelled like. Before I tell you more about this perfume, though, let me talk a little bit about the brand because they seem pretty cool. Xyrena is a niche brand that was founded by Killian Wells, a former pop songwriter. Most of Xyrena's perfumes come in VHS inspired bottles and packaging, and they are collaborations with actual movies, especially horror movies. Unfortunately, Xyrena does not sell discovery sets or sample vials, but I really wish they did. I'm very interested in smelling fragrances like Jaws, The Breakfast Club, and Saved by the Bell. Bottles of Xyrena perfume sell for $120 each. My blind buy era is over, so who knows if or when I will get to smell other Xyrena perfumes. Back to Xyrena Plastic. It appears that Xyrena Plastic was originally a collaboration with drag queen Trixie Mattel, and it was called Plastic by Trixie Mattel. I don't know much about the drag world, but the internet tells me that Trixie Mattel was often on RuPaul's Drag Race and commonly dresses up like a doll, which makes a lot of sense because Mattel is the name of the brand that manufactures Barbies. The perfume is currently sold on the Xyrena website only named as Plastic, so I'm assuming that the collaboration between Xyrena and Trixie Mattel is over. The notes listed for the older perfume and the newer perfume are the same, so I'm guessing it is the same actual substance. Okay, so the smell doesn't bother me as much as it did the first couple times I smelled it. I think because I had the narrative in my mind, oh, this has gone bad and it's just some toxic chemical, I really couldn't even tolerate it. But then when I did my digging online, I read some things that made me realize no, this is what it's supposed to smell like. For example, I'm going to read from someone's review on Fragrantica. This is from a person who said that Plastic has been her signature scent on and off since 2018. She describes Xyrena Plastic as initially very strong and artificial, almost like 100 perfumes all in the air at once, plus hairspray and nail polish. Can confirm. She also says it smells like your best friend's makeup bag that has a department store perfume sample leaked all over. So the smell of that has mixed with the smell of lipstick and a ton of hairspray. That was the narrative that I needed to make sense of the fragrance. In contrast, the Xyrena website says that the Plastic fragrance is inspired by dolls like Barbie and Strawberry Shortcake. But I'm not getting that. The Xyrena website also calls this fragrance flirty, which it is not flirty to me. So, my experience smelling Xyrena Plastic does not align with what is on the Xyrena website, but it does align with the idea of 100 perfumes sprayed in the air all at once with nail polish and hairspray and lipstick. Viewing the fragrance that way, instead of viewing it as a fragrance that is going to smell like a literal doll, and thinking of it as a fragrance that is going to smell like a human trying to make themselves look like a doll, makes a lot more sense. Intellectually, I find this a really fascinating idea, and I think it's actually pretty clever and cool. But just in terms of olfaction, this isn't something I want on my body or that I really even like to smell at all. Number 5, Barbie by Lush. Perfumer Alina Glowinska. The Barbie movie, directed by Greta Gerwig and starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, came out in 2023. And the Barbie by Lush fragrance also came out in 2023. So I'm assuming that this was part of the marketing efforts for the movie. I really enjoyed the Barbie movie, but unfortunately, I cannot say the same for the Barbie by Lush fragrance. One good thing I can say about this fragrance is it smells like fluorescent pink to me. I don't know how they did that, but it really does smell pink. It's definitely a step up from a perfume that smells like 100 perfumes sprayed all at once combined with nail polish and hairspray, but it isn't something I would ever want to wear. I can't smell the orange that's listed in the notes list. It smells more like synthetic red or pink flavoring that you would find in maybe candy or a drink, something very synthetic and artificial. There's a bit of powder in the opening, but it fades after a few minutes. Very quickly becomes super sweet, I would say to the point of being cloying, at least to me. And it dries down into like a pure candy syrup, maybe mixed with some plastic. This is closer to smelling like a doll, but it really doesn't smell like any doll that I've smelled before. It kind of reminds me of the smell of one of those like push pop suckers. But if it were sitting in the backseat of a hot car where the heat really brought out the smell of the cherry flavoring and also like the plastic in the car, maybe mixed with some car air freshener or something. It's just very synthetic smelling, not in a good way. Number 4, Boy Smells Doll Skin. This one came out in 2025, and the perfumer is Christine Hassan. Like the last two, which started as collaborations, Doll Skin is a collaboration between Boy Smells and Bratz. I'm too old to have had a Bratz doll as a kid, so I don't really know what Bratz dolls smell like. I can't tell you if this fragrance smells like a Bratz doll or not, but I can tell you it doesn't smell like any doll that I've ever smelled before. To me, doll skin smells super duper powdery. It might be the most powdery fragrance I have ever smelled in my life. And yes, that's including Love's Baby Soft. Unfortunately, I can't smell it without being transported back to the days when I used to babysit a lot and change diapers. For me, it paints a photorealistic picture of baby wipes, baby powder, and plastic diapers. So there is a synthetic plastic element in this, just like there was in the last two. But again, to me, it doesn't smell like a doll and it doesn't smell like anything I would want to smell like publicly. So this will be going in my Mercari shop fast. Number 3, Pearfat Kewpie Doll. This one came out in 2022. The perfumer is Ali Kiral. I was so excited to try this because I had read such good things about the brand Pearfat. It seems to have a cult following online of very loyal fans. I also think this might have been the very first indie perfume that I tried. I really just had high hopes for it, and when I didn't love it, I felt really deflated. And to be honest, I think I kind of avoided indie perfumes for a while after that because I just kind of felt guilty and bad that I didn't like it. The perfumer is also the brand's founder, and the brand operates out of Indiana. If you don't know, I grew up in Illinois and I live in Kentucky now, so Indiana is very familiar and feels like home to me. I have friends and family who live in Indiana, so I just thought it was really cool that this perfume brand is out of Indiana. The Pearfat website says Pearfat Parfum is a fragrance house that deals in capturing scent memories of growing up in the Midwest. I grew up in the Midwest and I am a very nostalgic person, so again, I just had super high hopes and really wanted to like this. Just as I was too old for Bratz dolls, I was too young for Kewpie dolls. I've seen them before, but I can't say I know what they smell like. But to me, again, this one doesn't actually smell like any doll that I've smelled. Instead of dolls, I get dried tomato and dried tomato basil. On first sniff, this fragrance took me back to college when I used to eat a lot of ramen, and because I was vegetarian, I would only eat the tomato ramen. If I really think about it, I can get a hint of vinyl in there, but if I hadn't known that that was a note, I'm not sure that I would have noticed it or known that it was intentionally in there. This fragrance really didn't make sense to me at first at all until I saw an online review in which someone said it reminded them of being in a pizza parlor because you have the tomato sauce on the pizza, dried basil, and then vinyl tablecloths. And I thought, okay, yeah, I can see that. This does kind of remind me of a pizza parlor now. Unfortunately, I can't imagine wanting to go out in the world smelling like a tomato flavored ramen packet or a cheap pizza parlor. Then again, I first smelled this in the winter and I really disliked it, but now it's summer, and when I smell it in the summer, I like it a lot more than I did in the winter. So who knows? Maybe I'll be feeling wild one day and I'll wear this out in the world. I think as time goes on, it starts to smell less like a pizza parlor and more like a tomato garden, which that could be kind of nice. I know that I would never want a full bottle of this one, but I might try to challenge myself to use up the sample just to spend more time with something that is kind of stretching me outside of my comfort zone. When I bought Pearfat Kewpie Doll, it was part of their broader discovery set, but to be honest, because I didn't really like it, I just put the whole discovery set away and didn't smell any of the other fragrances because I just felt kind of like guilty and weird and worried like what if I hate all of them? The last thing I want to do is come online and slam a small, creative, Midwestern indie brand. That's the last thing I want to do. But now that I'm smelling this and it smells a lot better than it did to me in the wintertime, I'm going to dig up the rest of the Discovery set and I will be giving my honest review on that soon. So, fingers crossed that I like the other fragrances in it better than this one. Number two, Scentbird Strawberry Shortcake. This came out in 2024 and there is no perfumer listed. This one also does not smell like a doll to me. I've talked about this in a different video, so I won't go super in depth, but I think this smells more like a strawberry milkshake or even strawberry shortcake itself than the strawberry shortcake doll. This fragrance is way sweeter than anything I would want to wear, but it's fun and I can see why people like it. Number one, also by Scentbird, Strawberry Shortcake Eau Fresh Picked. This one came out in 2025 and there is also no perfumer listed. We've reached our winner. Ding, 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 ding. Out of all six perfumes, this is the only one that smells like a doll to me, and it smells like the strawberry shortcake doll that I had when I was a little girl. This is a sweet aquatic, which I also feel fondness toward just in general. I generally like sweet aquatic perfumes. I feel like there's a little bit of rose in there that they're not telling us about. It's just light and watery and fresh and sweet without being cloying. I would say this has only half or maybe one third of the sweetness found in the other strawberry shortcake scent. Every time I've tested this, I've thought, oh, I like this so much. I'm so excited to wear it. But then, like half an hour or an hour later, as it unfolds, I'm like, maybe I'll sell it. It's not as great as I thought in the first few minutes. So I'm still kind of on the fence because I have overbought perfume and I want to sell stuff that I don't really love. I'm kind of leaning towards selling this, but I do think it's good. And out of all the six, this is the only one that I could actually see myself regularly wearing out in the world. That said, it's not my favorite fragrance I've ever smelled. And even though I thought reviewing six doll fragrances would be super fun, it kind of fell flat. Like, when it comes to scents that I love, I'm 0 for 6 on doll scents. Maybe I don't actually love the smell of dolls and it's just the nostalgia that I was chasing. I'm not sure. Okay, now I'm changing my mind again and thinking I want to keep this. Maybe I'll wear this a few times in the next week and make a final decision once and for all. A big thank you to everyone who watched this video in its entirety. I should see how he reacts to Xyrena Plastic. Okay, I'll just see how he reacts to all of them. We're going for Lush now. Oh, looks like he hates Pearfat. That surprises me because that's the one that smelled the most like food. If you've watched this far, please leave a comment and let me know. Do you like any fragrances that smell like dolls, whether they are intentionally supposed to smell like dolls or you just think they smell like dolls? If the answer is no, then I guess we're similar. If the answer is yes, please tell me which fragrances those are because I'm a little disappointed that I went on this huge doll perfume quest and it kind of fell flat for me. I don't know. All right. Until next time.